Hello, I'm Stuart Scott. Many of you watching this may know me, but an equal or greater number may not. You'll know me from my having published many videos on our YouTube channel, which has gone through transformations from climatematters.tv to scientistswarning.tv, and now we're known as facingfuture.tv. But over all that time, my mission has remained the same. I'm dedicated to the preservation and protection of life on Earth, of which humanity is just a small part. I have had the honor and privilege to introduce Dr. James Hansen at the first climate negotiations that he ever attended.
Yeah, our parents did not know that they were causing a problem for future generations by burning fossil fuels. But we can only pretend that we don't know.
In 2015, having met with him in New York, I talked him into coming. He had refused for 20 some odd years to attend because he thought very poorly of the UN climate negotiations, knowing full well that it was a ritual of kicking the can down the road. I talked him into coming on the basis that his dissident status would be most loudly heard if it was projected from the COP. He liked that idea. And since then, he's attended 3 different COPs in order to appear on programs that I've done. They're all available on facingfuture.tv. I've also had the privilege, honor of being the person who got Greta Thunberg, who was at the time virtually unknown, to attend her first COP in Katowice, Poland. I consider that to have been the second stage of her launch into fame, into notability as a climate leader. At the ripe young age of 15, she did a one-person school strike outside of the Swedish parliament without the support even of her parents. And that has vaulted her into a position of leadership, not only amongst the youth generation with whom she shares the burden that we, adults who are supposed to have known better, and heads of state who have been disingenuously negotiating for over 25 years and come up with nothing in all that time, for which Greta Thunberg has been a wonderful critic, unrelenting, unforgiving critic.
I will not beg the world leaders to care for our future. I will instead let them know that change is coming, whether they like it or not.
At which I introduced her to the world. The second day of that COP, she and her father appeared with me on stage at the UN climate negotiations. And that program happens to be the one that has had the most number of views of any in our catalog. Reason being, Svante, who used to be an actor, preferred to stay out of the limelight, preferred to let his daughter get the attention. And I didn't know that that was the only video interview that he'd given. I've also been honored and privileged to meet with Pope Francis at the Vatican, again about climate change and the destructive economic system that we have been saddled with by the action of wealthy bankers in the 20th century. Pope Francis is onto it. And my relationship with the Holy See, the proper name for what most people call the Vatican, my relationship with the Holy See was cultivated over 12 years, up to this point where I have indirectly become an advisor to the Pope. Enough about me, or enough about my accomplishments. I'm speaking to you with a request, something I have a lot of difficulty doing. I have cancer. Those who've followed my programs know. If you're new, you may not. The cancer that I have is already metastasized. It seems to love the bone marrow of my spine. And so several to many of my spinal vertebrae have been invaded by this cancer. On January 14th, I will undergo an operation procedure at the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, that will have me under general anesthesia for an entire day. It's a delicate operation called an ablation, where they will drill many small holes into my spinal vertebrae and insert either a needle to freeze the bone or to heat the bone in a very delicate, controlled manner so as to kill the cancer that's spread to the bones without harming the nerves. This operation is estimated to cost $73,000. Fortunately, I've got Medicare, but that's my only insurance. So the 20% copayment is all on me, and that amounts to $14,600 just by itself. On top of that, there will be a variety of imaging and consultations before and after this operation. There are also pre-existing bills. Let me tell you, having cancer ain't easy. The oncology, that is the chemotherapy, is performed here in Honolulu, where I live, and I have a sizable bill with Hawaii Cancer Care. But the imaging and procedures, I prefer to go to the Mayo Clinic, despite the current COVID epidemic. I'll go with a very heavy-duty industrial mask and a visor and a hat to keep any COVID from sneaking down, because I am immunocompromised. In fact, I will leave for the Mayo Clinic 2 days after my 5th round of chemotherapy, since I was there last. So I'm recording this to ask for your generosity. There are 2 ways that you can contribute for my health care. One of them is through our GoFundMe page. We'll provide a link, and we have a Patreon fundraiser. Patreon is usually considered to be a fundraiser for artists and musicians, performing artists. Well, I feel I qualify because I am a performing artist. However, I do a very serious form of performance art, that of warning humanity about what we've done and what we've let ourselves into, and how we might respond so as to improve our chances of survival. Yes, we've created an existential threat to our own survival. Please, if you can give to the GoFundMe campaign, it's a one-time donation. If you can be a periodic supporter, that is, do a monthly donation to our Patreon fundraiser, that would be appreciated. I want to thank you in advance for sharing this video, for watching our other videos, which are important for you and your family, and of course, for your generosity in helping me with the expenses, not just the bills from the Mayo Clinic and Hawaii Cancer Care, but the expenses of going, returning, and staying in Rochester, Minnesota about 3 or 4 times a year in an effort to extend my expiration date as long as possible. Worst case is I may survive a year more. Best case, I'm hoping to extend my expiration date indefinitely. Please help me extend it just a few more years. Thank you for your help.